Hello, welcome to this video. My name is Hannah. I am a university UK lecturer of 7 years, and I've been a registered nurse with the NMC for 20 years. And I now offer some tutoring support to help nurses with their academic studies. So I'm doing a video today on referencing. Okay, so for all of you that are doing your degrees and masters and your nursing programs, I have just finished marking some year one work, and there was lots of common themes around referencing, and I thought I'd do a video just to explain a little bit more about the importance of referencing, but also what, as a marker, we look for in terms of referencing. Right, so when I'm marking essays, what do I look for in terms of referencing, and why is it so important? So the first thing I do when I'm marking an essay is I go right to the end of the piece of work and I look at the reference list. So why do I do that? Well, it tells me lots of things. Firstly, it tells me the quality of resources you have used. Okay, so to support the point you're making, where have you got that information from? It does give me a really good indication of the quality of the essay. Because an essay which has got a wide range of good quality references will generally be very well written, and an essay which has got some poor quality and minimal references will unfortunately not be as well written. It also shows where you've got your sources of information from, okay, and where you searched that evidence, where you were looking for that evidence. Is it from the academic databases, or are you just searching randomly through the internet? It shows me that you've read widely around your subject area, so you've done a lot of reading, and that really informs your discussion and the points that you're making. And most importantly, it shows you understand the importance of finding the evidence base to support your practice. So you're demonstrating a lot of skills just through your referencing, and it does show you that you've read and understood a subject, and you've been able to support your points and ideas with the literature. It also shows your academic integrity, and obviously it helps you avoid plagiarism, which is a really significant part of student conduct at university. It also shows you understand that your clinical nursing decisions must be underpinned by the evidence base. And referencing supports this because you are showing where the evidence comes from, and you are looking at the quality of that evidence and discussing it and using it to support your nursing practice within your academic work. And by doing this, you're showing those really important critical thinking skills, okay, by engaging with a variety of sources and referencing them properly. And it develops your critical thinking skills, which are absolutely essential when you go into practice to deliver safe patient care. We must be critical thinkers. So where are the good sources of literature and references? Where do they come from? When I'm looking at that reference list, these are the type of things that I'm looking for. So I'm looking for journals and articles from academic peer-reviewed journals, okay? So journals that you will get from your university databases, where they are research-based articles, and they've been peer-reviewed, so they've been blind peer-reviewed by the reviewers to make sure that they are of good quality, and make sure there are no significant errors or biases within that work which would impact the results. Looking for, obviously, research papers that have been carried out to a high standard. Also looking for things such as systematic reviews, so where authors have gathered all the research papers related to that one area, okay? And there's lots of different types of reviews that come under that as well. Up-to-date editions of books, so we do get useful information from books, especially ones that are up-to-date, so up-to-date and latest edition of books. Also looking for key policy documents, so these could be key government policies, for example, like NHS long-term plan. Also looking for things such as NICE, so as well. So those are the kind of things that we should be seeing in a degree or master's based reference list. What are the poor quality ones? So social media sites, so Facebook, YouTube, etc. I had LinkedIn on an essay I read not that long ago. Social media sites can be great if you are struggling to understand a concept, and there's a great video on there and it's explaining what you need to do. And that is absolutely fine, but you can't use that to support your academic writing, okay? So yes, go to social media sites if you are struggling to understand something and you want to try and understand that first, and then take that information on and take it into the academic databases and search properly for your literature. Web pages that are not government or policy driven, for example, so get a lot of things such as things like My Nurse's Life or nursesblog.com, or maybe a company product page. I've seen that recently about a software company. So those are not best quality sites either. Opinion pieces, there is a place for opinion pieces, definitely, and they can be really good as well for background reading and helping you understand a bit more about the subject, but just be cautious that they are just someone's opinion, okay? And they might not actually be, their points might not be supported by evidence. Some of them are, so you just be cautious of opinion pieces, but they can be very useful. Very outdated studies, so ideally we want references within the last 10 years, unless these are really key seminal works, in which case, a really key theory or nursing theory that we, is older, but is a really prominent piece of work that we still use. And just avoid any references where you can't find really a really clear author or date. That's not the ideal piece to be putting in your academic work. So how can you improve your referencing? So firstly, you must read widely. You should be spending more time reading and searching databases than you are actually crafting and writing your essay. I'm going to talk about a data extraction table. This is really important. It really helps you manage your references and reading that you're going through, and it also helps you with your writing. Use your university databases and not just general internet search engines, okay? So make a list of all the key terms related to your subject, search these in lots of different combinations. Okay, don't write your title of your assignment directly into Google. We've most probably all done that at some point, but it really isn't the way to go long term in terms of, really getting those good grades and, really finding the correct sources of literature to support your work, and ensure your references are within the last 10 years. So data extraction table, this is just an example from a piece from my research when I was doing some research and doing a literature review. So just make a quick table, so the author's name, title, the design, the context or the intervention of the study, sample, data collection, key results, and then what can you identify that are limitations? And then I'd write my next article that I found. And what you're going to do is build up a big data table really of all the reading and references that you have found related to your subject. And then you can start to see themes. So you start to see the articles where the results might be similar. You might have a couple of articles which talk about the same results. Then you can start to see articles and research which maybe has a different result and presents maybe a different argument. And you can also start to pick out that critical appraisal, so looking at the limitations, but also looking at the things that are also good about that study as well. And then when you come to write your paragraphs, you can just start to craft them through this data extraction table, and it saves you loads of time. And because you can go straight to this table and find the key author and article and the key points that you picked out of there is important, and reference that within your essay. So how should you use references in your essay? So the very simple and first thing is to start with supporting your key points and statements with a reference and the literature. Then start to use your references to build your argument. Then use them to demonstrate your critical thinking. So considering the quality of the study and the application of the results to your subject area or to your patients. And this can be positive or negative. Being critical is not just finding faults in research. It's about looking at, how well does this relate to my patient group? Looking at at the research, and you can get some different tools that can help you appraise the research, but I'll go into that into a different video, I think. And you can also use your references to compare different results from different studies, and then you want to come to your own conclusion from the research you have used and included in your assignments. So like I said, the very, very first point is to start supporting your writing. So every time you make a key statement or point, support this with a reference. So I see a lot of work where you've written some really key statements and in a paragraph or even more than a couple of paragraphs, but there's no reference, there's nothing to support the point that you're making, and you do need to do that at university level work, okay? So for example here, and you can write these in two different ways. So I could summarise it and put my reference at the end. So for example, I've put student nurses view sustainability as an important issue and want it to be included in the curriculum. And then depending on your referencing style with your university, where I work, we use Harvard. So then I put the author's name and date in brackets. Or I could instead write it as Richardson et al. 2016 study demonstrated that student nurses view sustainability as an important issue and want it to be included in the curriculum. Both are right, and it depends how you are crafting your writing and the flow of your writing as well. So I'm supporting that point with a reference. Then I might want to build the argument a bit more. So I might find some more studies that support that point. So I could write several studies identify that student nurses agree that sustainability and climate change are important issues and should be included in the curriculum. And I had quite a lot of references here because I was doing a really big literature review. But again, if you've got that data extraction table, you've got 3 or 4 studies which are all coming out with a similar result, you can use that to build your argument and put those references together. Then I would use my references to demonstrate some critical thinking. So I could say that the studies that I was talking about previous, these are multiple large studies surveying student attitudes towards sustainability are actually really useful, okay, and they support the introduction of climate change and sustainability education into the curriculum. However, these kind of large quantitative scales do have some limitations, and I'm going to support that reference with some that reference there, Cohen, is from a research methodology book. So I'm talking about a method of collecting data. And I'm being a bit more critical here because I'm questioning really whether that's the correct way to understand, you know, students, a meaningful understanding of student attitudes. Is that just through, you know, a Likert scale? And I'm going to just bring in some critical discussion there. And I've identified some further research which looks more deeply at students' perceptions. And this has been seen in qualitative studies. So you can start to develop that critical thinking, identify, you know, the good things about the research that you're using, potential limitations. So my limitations with those big studies was it might not get to a deeper meaning and a real understanding of students' attitudes towards sustainability. And then I can compare results from different studies with my referencing and literature as well. So for example, this study by Annika, it provides richer data into insights, and these results do support those big quantitative surveys, showing that nursing students consider sustainability to be important. However, through these deeper insights, it also showed that students found that climate change was difficult to apply to nursing. So now I've got a little bit more information around the topic, haven't I? This was also supported by another research project, so some qualitative focus groups. And it also showed that students struggled to see the relevance of sustainability and its application to nursing. So even though from my surveys, it showed that students felt climate change was really important, I know from this other research as well that they find it difficult to apply that within their nursing practice. I'm starting to build an argument. I'm starting to critique the research that I've got. I'm starting to build in different results around the same subject, okay? So I'm then going to come to my own conclusion. So my conclusion from this reading and my researching and looking at the studies is that, you know, it's really clear that student nurses really view sustainability as being important and they want it included in the curriculum. That was really clear throughout all my research papers that I read. However, they really struggled to see the relevance of that to their practice. And then my own conclusion then is that there needs to be a greater emphasis on educational delivery and interventions to support students to link sustainability to their clinical practice. So you can see how we could go from a very simple supporting a point that we make, building an argument, bringing the literature in and thinking about it critically, and then forming our own opinion and conclusion on that based on what we've read and what we've presented in that assignment. We're using that literature to support our points. Once you've used your references through your writing, you need to always include a reference list. So the marker will go through and check that all your references that you have cited in your text are in your reference list. This is really important. It depends what method of referencing your university follows, but make sure you follow the correct formatting for that. Make sure you should have access to something like Cite and Write, which will tell you exactly how to format your references, and it is important to follow that. Double check, yes, that all your references that you put in your essay appear in your reference list and match. Is quite a common error, and do pick it up as a marker. And again, it depends on the formatting, but in your reference list, you should provide all the information that's required. So the author's names, the date, title, might be journal title, might be chapter title of book title, websites, they need the URL address as well, and normally when you have accessed them. Spend some time and make sure you do your reference list correctly. Okay, referencing software is really helpful, and saves you a lot of time, especially when you're doing bigger pieces of work. But I think it's quite important to understand how to do it yourself first, and then once you've got that skill embedded, you can then go on and use referencing software, which does help you a lot. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. It's obviously just a quick overview. If you're really struggling with referencing, I definitely advise to make some time with your university library specialists. And you know, referencing is really important. It can really impact your grades significantly. It really helps develop your writing and your argument and your critical analysis through your work as well, which does push you into higher grade boundaries as well. But most importantly, being able to search and find the evidence base for your practice is ultimately the most important part of being a safe nurse and providing high quality patient care. So I do tutoring. So if you are struggling with your academic work and would like some one-to-one assistance, and this could be for resubmissions or maybe a difficult topic which you're struggling with, or reviewing your feedback from previous essays and looking at ways that you can improve your grades, and as well as certain study skills, so searching literature, referencing, critical analysis. You can email me on hannah@outlook.com or visit my Facebook or Instagram page.